what AI actually replaces. When people imagine job automation, they often picture something dramatic: a robot taking over an entire office, or a sudden wave of layoffs happening overnight, or machines fully replacing humans in complex professions. But the reality is far more subtle, and much more important to understand. Artificial intelligence does not replace entire jobs first. It replaces specific tasks inside those jobs. And this detail changes everything about how the future of work unfolds. Because every job, no matter how advanced, is built from smaller components. Some tasks are repetitive, some are analytical, some require creativity, and some require communication. AI is currently strongest in the first two categories and rapidly improving in the third. This means the first wave of automation targets the easiest parts of human work. For example, in writing-related jobs, AI can already generate drafts, summaries, product descriptions, emails, and reports. A writer is no longer starting from a blank page. Instead, they are editing, refining, and improving machine-generated content. This shifts the role from creator to supervisor. In marketing, AI handles large parts of campaign creation. It can suggest ad copy, test variations, analyze performance data, and even optimize targeting strategies. Marketers still make decisions, but much of the execution is now automated or AI-assisted. In design, AI tools generate visual concepts in seconds. Logos, banners, social media posts, and illustrations no longer require starting from scratch. Designers focus more on selecting, refining, and guiding creative direction rather than manually producing every asset. In software development, AI assists with writing code, debugging, and documentation. Developers spend less time on repetitive coding and more time on system architecture and problem solving. Even in administrative work, AI automates scheduling, data entry reporting, and communication tasks. The pattern is consistent across every industry. AI removes the manual layer of work. And when that layer disappears, the structure of jobs begins to change. But here is the most important consequence. When productivity increases, businesses do not always expand output. Often they reduce the number of people needed to achieve the same results. This leads to smaller teams, faster workflows, and higher expectations for individual performance. Over time, this creates a new standard in the workplace. Employees are no longer compared only to each other. They are compared to AI-augmented performance. And this is where the real shift begins to accelerate. Because now the difference is not between skilled and unskilled workers. It is between those who use AI effectively and those who do not. A person using AI tools can complete tasks significantly faster than someone working traditionally, not because they are more talented, but because they are using better systems. And in a competitive environment, systems matter more than effort alone. This is why companies are rapidly adopting AI even when they don't publicly emphasize it. It is not about replacing humans immediately, it is about increasing output while controlling cost. And once that process begins, it rarely slows down. Instead, it compounds. Every improvement in AI makes the gap wider. Every new tool increases productivity expectations. And every productivity increase reshapes what employers consider valuable work. This is why the most important risk is not sudden job loss. It is gradual skill devaluation, where a worker still has a job, but their role becomes less central over time as automation expands around them. And most people only notice this shift when it has already progressed too far to ignore. The future of work. So if AI is already changing industries, and if it is already replacing tasks inside jobs, the final question becomes unavoidable. What does this actually mean for the future of work? Not in theory, not in headlines, but in real life for real people, in real jobs. The first thing to understand is that change will not happen in a single moment. There will be no clear day where everything suddenly becomes automated. Instead, this transformation will continue the way it has already started. Quietly, gradually, and unevenly across industries. Some companies will adopt AI faster. Others will move slower. Some workers will adapt early. Others will wait. And this difference will create a growing gap over time. Because the future of work is no longer just about who is skilled. It is about who is adaptable. The baseline of productivity is rising. What used to be considered good performance is no longer enough in many industries. As AI tools become more common, expectations increase automatically. Workers are expected to produce more output in less time. Not because companies want to pressure employees, but because competition forces efficiency. This is where the real shift becomes visible. In the past, experience alone was enough to stay relevant. If you worked in a field for 10 years, you were considered highly valuable. But today, experience without adaptation is no longer sufficient, because someone with less experience, but with better tools, can often outperform someone who relies only on traditional methods. This does not mean experience is useless. It means experience must now be combined with new tools to remain effective. And this is where a new category of workers is emerging. People who use AI as part of their daily workflow, not as a replacement for thinking, but as an extension of it. These individuals can complete tasks faster, explore more ideas, and operate at a higher level of productivity. And over time, they become significantly more valuable in the job market, because the economy always rewards output, not effort alone, but results. This is why the gap between AI users and non-users will continue to grow, slowly at first, then faster than most expect. Now zooming out, we can see that AI is not just changing jobs, it is changing the structure of value in the economy itself. Speed is becoming more important than effort. Leverage is becoming more important than time spent. Systems are becoming more important than manual execution. And AI is accelerating all three at the same time. This is why the future of work will not be defined by whether jobs exist or disappear. It will be defined by how those jobs are performed. Some roles will shrink, some will evolve, and entirely new roles will appear that we cannot fully define today. But the direction is clear. Work is becoming more automated, more digital, and more AI-assisted, and in this new environment, the people who adapt early will have a significant advantage. Not because the system is unfair, but because the system is changing faster than most people realize. And that is the most important takeaway. AI is not a distant future event. It is not something that will happen someday. It is something that is already here, already active, and already reshaping how work functions across the world. So the real question is not whether AI will change your job. It already is. The real question is whether you will adjust your skills and mindset in time to move with it. Because in every major technological shift in history, there were always two groups: those who adapted early and those who adapted later. And the difference between those two groups is what defines the next decade of work.